So this is something that I've had in my mind for a few days actually. I just couldn't remember the name of the bloody weapon, but I finally did. So let's check it out. All I could remember is that the Ocucor, which is the name of this bloody weapon, has a really cool augment and I wanted to do something with it, but the name itself, nope. Now this weapon doesn't look terribly impressive on the stat page. 11 total damage, most of which is radiation, with a 16% crit chance, 1.8 times crit multi, and a 24% status chance. That's pretty meh. Though at least it's available from the market, though the resources you need to build it are a bit However, the stat page is full of deceit, because the Ocucor is a beam weapon that sprouts additional beams when you get a kill with it that latch onto enemies in a cone in front of you. And since you can have up to 4 of these extra beams, it actually does 55 damage. Add in the Sentient Surge Nightwave augment, which allows you to sustain those beams and gives you additional crit and status for each beam, and you actually get a pretty decent weapon. So let's give it a shot. First things first, Sentient Surge. This is a really good mod, because you lose the beams when you reload or holster the weapon, so the first part of this, which sustains your ammo on kill, is really good, and then you get a ton of status and crit, which is just fantastic. I have a feeling Cucumber is going to be really good here. Galvanized Diffusion, there we go. Let's get Lethal Torrent in there as well, and I think we're going to use Galvanized Shot for our base damage, because I don't think it's multiplicative, so we're not going to use Hornet Strike and just run Galvanized Shot. The ramp up is going to be a bit ass, but it's going to be fine, I think. I kind of want to go with Corrosive, and I want to go full status, so let's get Jolt and Pistol Pestilence in there. And I think Cold for the extra crit damage is actually going to be really nice here. Well, I guess we're going to have to take out Lethal Torrent, because we can't fit in crit otherwise. Let's actually do a little bit of a Forma Shuffle. There we go, Creeping Bullseye and Primed Target Cracker. Lovely. Oof, the ramp up is not great, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And once you get a few kills, yep, should be fine. It is doing less than I expected it to, though. Oh, actually, hold up. Yeah, it's not... That is the damage is all over the place here. What about Cascadia Empowered? The ramp is slightly better, which is to be expected. We get a bunch of essentially free damage from the Empowered, and... Ooh, that is much better, actually. Ooh, I like this. While we're at it, let's try Merciless as well. Wow, that is surprisingly terrible. Back to Empowered we go. Let's add Harold into the mix as well and make sure, yep, Vital. Come on, boy. Prime for Papa. Yes. Ooh. Ooh. Now, okay. Wow, that is such a humongous difference. What the hell? I don't think I've ever seen Harold make this much of a difference before. That was insanely better. Time for an actual mission test. Nah. Oof. So far, so good. We're not running out of ammo, which is the most important thing, because once you start running out of ammo, you start losing the beams and it all goes to hell. I am not loving it though. The damage is pretty mediocre. Please end my suffering. This is bad. Like really bad. We need to change some stuff. Get this garbage out of my face. Here's an idea. We go Scorch and Prime Heated Charge. We're gonna need a Forma though. So let's get that in there. Let's put a D under Shot. And then we can run Hornet Strike. Yeah, this is much better. I actually like this a lot more. This is good. It definitely needs some tweaking, but it's better than Corrosive and Cold. Let's go back to Cucumber. Yeah, because I really don't like to rely on Harold to get actual damage in there, because when the enemies are not primed, the damage is laughable. We are getting somewhere. This is starting to do some serious damage. It's not quite there yet, but we're getting there. The single target is still not amazing, but it's better than before, and it clears much better as well. Acolytes are still a bit of a problem because you really don't want to reload, so I always have to find some enemies to kill to restock my ammo. But I am running an Exterminate. If I was running a Survival, I think it would have been much better, because there would be loads of enemies around the Acolyte all the time. Radical Call. Let's draw crit for a brief moment here. Alright, move this up to utilize the dash. There we go. This is going to be a massive multiplier for our heat procs. We can also run Lethal Torrent again. Yep, this is the best version of this by a long shot. This is actually feeling nice. The only, thing that bothers me about this is that we're consuming ammo much faster because we went from negative fire rate to positive fire rate. The damage is really good though. I think we have a build on our hands. I expected this to feel worse against the Grenier, and it's not amazing because you generally have to wait for 2 ticks of heat to take down some of the units, but it's not bad. We're really not utilizing that crit. What if we run Prime Target Cracker instead of Letha Torrent? Just so we can take advantage of the crit as well. This instantly feels a lot better because we drop some of the fire rate so we're not chewing through the ammo as fast, and we actually have some crit damage so we have more damage. Yeah, I think this is it. It took a while to get here, but I think we finally figured it out. This is a night and day difference compared to the first iteration of this setup that we did today. I can actually see myself using this. This is nice. Yep, I think we're done. I can't think of anything else I would want to do here. Feels nice, damage is good. Awesome sauce. So, here's the final build for the Ocucor. We have Galvanized Diffusion for multi-shot, Prime Target Cracker for crit damage, Primed Heated Charge as well as Scorch for a ton of heat damage and status chance, Hornet Strike for base damage, Pistol Elementalist for status damage, Sentient Surge which sustains our ammo, which then sustains our beams and it gives us a ton of status and crit chance, and then we have Galvanized Shot for status chance and Condition Overload. Now for the Arcane, Secondary Encumber is the best if you don't want to rely on a pet or some other form of priming for your damage. It just makes the weapon feel a lot smoother because if the enemy you're trying to fight is not primed and you're not running Cucumber, your damage is going to be much worse. I would still recommend you run a priming pet even with Cucumber though. I'm using Good Boy Harold with his Batoten modded for radiation, heat and vital. This helps a lot. It's not as effective if you have Cucumber, but still the big burst of status you can get from this is really nice. But it doesn't have to be a Hound, you can use a Volpaphyla or a Moa, or you can just use Warframe abilities or even other weapons to prime the enemies instead. This was really fun. I enjoyed this a lot, partially because it wasn't so straightforward, because for me, figuring it out, right, figuring the build out and trying to make something work is part of the fun. Plus, it's also very satisfying when you do figure it out in the end. Now, is this the best weapon in the world? No. But it's good enough and it's a lot of fun, it's unique, so I would absolutely recommend you give it a shot. The main issue with it is that once you get to a point where you're not getting enemies constantly, you start to drop ammo, and once you start to drop ammo and you have to reload, you start losing the beams and it loses a lot of its power. So it has limited potential, right? Once you get to a high enough level, it just doesn't quite work anymore. But I genuinely don't think that's going to be an issue for most people. So yeah, do give it a shot. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.